Hey, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of We Live in Color. I'm your host, Deaunte Damper, and I need you to do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to Converge, where you can learn more about Back to Basa, The Day with Trey, and The Sanctuary. Go to whereweconverge.com to see why Black media matters. And this is a very special episode because Black maternal health matters. For the first time ever within 2 weeks, I had to bring back Executive Director of Surge Reproductive Justice Jackie Vaughn back here because we are about to kick off this Saturday, Black Maternal Health Week, through the 11th through the 17th. And the reason why I want her to come back is because we have more to do. We need to make sure that we are paying attention and uplifting our Black women and our Black men in this community about this conversation, what it looks like to be, as their event calls it, rooted in care. We're going to talk more about Rooted in Care and the Ebony Canal documentary that'll be seen. But first, we need to hear from SGN. Come on, Eminem. What's going on this week?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Seattle Gay News Community Brief. I'm Madison Jones.
And I am Maddie Mooney.
And we're always here to connect y'all with the hot local news stories that's going on in the LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus community.
Yes.
But before we get into that, of course, we got to have our What's Going On in the World of Maddie and Madison. This week, we're going to shake things up by asking a topic question. Maddie, I want to know, are you reading any books of interest right now?
Yes, I actually just finished Tender is the Flesh. The author, I don't have it on the top of my head, but it is a really interesting book. I'm really a huge fan of kind of post-apocalyptic type stories. And this one is about a catastrophic event in which a disease wipes through the population of food meat that we utilize. And so as a result, humans become the next source of meat. And it's just a book about that whole process and how it works and different things. And it's a story that you won't soon forget. It's a wild one, and it was a really good one.
Just straight cannibalism. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I feel like compared to that, my book is maybe a little less interesting, but I've been reading the autobiography of Elliot Page. He released that about a year or two ago, talking about his coming out and his life experience as a trans man. And yeah, it's really good. It's really interesting to kind of, as a trans, I mean, I have trans men friends as a trans woman, but to kind of get that like, internal perspective from like a very famous trans person about what they're going through. It's been a really interesting read. So I would highly recommend folks to read it.
Absolutely. It's definitely on my list. It's been on my list for a while. I have a list of books that I'm trying to get through, although I have a really bad habit of like going straight to the post-apocalyptic, like end of the world or horror ones first. So I will make it to your book, Elliot Page. If you're watching this, you're probably not, but just in case.
Cool. So let's get into the news stories.
Our first and only topic of the day, Congress is demanding answers around an alarming incident at the Canadian border.
That's right. Lawmakers recently sent a letter to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi expressing concern over the story of Canadian activist Kevin Larson, who was recently made by border agents to take a DNA test or face jail time. DNA tests can be used to tell someone's ethnicity and biological sex, both of which have been used by the Trump administration to enforce discriminatory policies.
Wow. Madison, you used to live in Canada for some time. Did you ever face any challenges expressing yourself up north?
No. And in fact, actually, compared to us, the Canadians are like super chill. Like you would think being an American citizen going into Canada, Canadian Border Patrol would be more like hard on you. But like it's a stereotype, but the Canadians are so polite and nice and like, yeah, I would like go in I used to live south of the border before I moved to Canada for graduate school. But I would go in, they'd be super nice. And then always coming back into America, our American Border Patrol would just be I don't know.
Rough.
They'd be rough. And like, even before I changed my passport and everything to match my gender identity and everything, they would give me way more shit about it on the American side than the Canadian side.
Yeah.
So it's a really unfortunate thing, and I'm really hoping that we can prevent the federal government from collecting this information from folks.
Yeah, so wild.
Yeah.
If you want more queer stories from around the world in places like Thailand, Manchester, and Costa Rica, check out our newly dropped annual travel issue. It's available at your local coffee shop and library. Pick up a copy today.
But lastly, we actually do have one more thing. A quick look at our community calendar. Seattle U will host a free virtual workshop Friday at 3:30 where queer and trans people can receive help with updating their identification markers. Later that night, you can catch a drag show with a unique twist incorporating industrial goth music. That'll be at the Belltown Yacht Club at 10 p.m.
Yes. And that's all for our community brief. Thank you for watching. And now back to you,
Deaunte.
Man, I love them so much. Check out Eminem. Thank you so much, SGN. Y'all continuously bring us joy with the news that we can use, okay? But when we come back, Black Maternal Health Matters, we got Jackie Vaughn. You're watching We Live in Color.
Now's your chance to join the Days to Come Reading Challenge to ignite the civic imagination needed for racial repair in Washington state. Read, discuss, and take action until Juneteenth to bring Dr. King's vision of a truly just society to life. Visit saarcpnw.org for more information.
This May, Seattle Opera presents the return of Bizet's celebrated classic, Carmen. A mesmerizing story of obsession, dazzling sets, elaborate costumes, and iconic melodies make Carmen irresistible. Don't miss Carmen, May 2nd through 17th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
And we're back with another special episode of We Live in Color. And it is special because they say three's a charm, but I'm going to say two. When Miss Vaughn came into the studio a couple of weeks ago, it did something with me and Eric, who is my director, who I love. And he said, we have to do something for Black Maternal Health Week. We got to get her back here. So as we get ready to get rooted in care, who better to bring us in than the Executive Director of Surge Reproductive Justice, Jackie Vaughn.
Hi, Deaunte. Thank you so much for having me back. I feel so special.
We love you here. Look at Eric's clapping in the background because he's excited.
Thank you.
But we wanted to bring you back because I was so, when we're talking about this being a week in community, right?
Yeah.
Black Maternal Health Week. Being able to get that prioritized by the state, by the community, is extremely important, and it needs to be uplifted more.
Yes.
How does it feel to know that we're prioritizing Black maternal health?
Yeah, it feels overwhelming to see the support that we've been able to get from the community. I remember probably, almost 8 years ago now when I came to Surge Reproductive Justice and to do this organizing work and to talk about Black maternal health, that I felt like people knew. Half the time people would know about the statistics, half the times they would not. But even when people knew about it, there wasn't the sense of urgency. And the recent maternal mortality review report from the state of Washington, it says that 82% of deaths are preventable. 82% of maternal deaths are preventable. And I think about if this was anything else, like that's a crime, that's murder. Like this is happening to not just mothers birthing people, but it's happening to our community. Yet we don't see people always talking about it at the level of urgency that it needs. And so this past year, we've been organizing with different organizations, different Black-led orgs as a part of the Good Black Birth Initiative. And we came together and we were like, no longer are we sitting on this issue anymore. No longer are we the only ones who are doing it. I think about Rokia Jones and Christina Clark that for the past several years, they've been putting on Seattle Black Maternal Health Week, the actual event that folks come to. And I think about all the years when we were setting up, all of us mothers, and like doing this work to set up the event, and we'd be looking around like, dang, like we're doing this because we love community and we want to put something together for our community. And also like, okay, why are we setting up the chairs, putting up the tables? Like, why don't other people like are a part of this and putting in that energy? And so now to see a complete shift and to just see the energy from folks, the support, the momentum. We recently last week got our proclamation from the governor. Yes, thanks Governor Ferguson for putting that together and trusting and working with Black-led organizations to create that narrative so that we can own our own stories around what it means to have a good Black birth. But yes, to see the community support, I feel like is overwhelming. And I feel like we're at that tipping point that we need, that this no longer is an issue that's in silence or in the shadows, but we come together as a whole community to say enough is enough and a good Black birth is possible.
Absolutely. And one of the things that made me want you to come back is because I think one of the things we weren't able to dive into is like there's always there's a sense of urgency nationally right now in the areas of telling women what to do with their bodies,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And although, and for many calls to action that are happening nationally, but in the reality, this has been happening to us for eons, right?
Yes.
And it's like, how are you able to help navigate other allied communities to understand like, hey, this has been happening to Black women for a while, and until we are free, we will all forever be in bondage.
Exactly. Yes. I think when I think about the Black maternal health crisis, that we know that we sometimes are dying at the rate of 3 to 4 times that of white birthing folks, of white mothers. And when I think about why everyone should care, I think about them as well. The fact that the level of maternal health care that they're getting is nowhere near what they would be getting in other countries. That here in the US, we rank the lowest out of any developed country for maternal health outcomes. And that's because of how Black mothers, Black birthing people, how we're being treated in that. And that it stems back from when we were kidnapped from Africa and brought here. That a lot of folks don't know that the person who is considered the so-called father of gynecology and OBGYN, I don't even really like to speak his name, but Dr. Marion Sims, that how he made some of those early tools that they still use in gynecology, OBGYN today, that he tested them on Black women who were enslaved without anesthesia, despite the fact that anesthesia or the level of anesthesia that they had back then existed. But because he felt that we did not experience pain the same way, that we were not essentially human and worthy of that care, that he tested those tools. And for all my folks who have uteruses and who have ever had a pap smear before, like, we know that those experiences, they're still painful, they're still uncomfortable, and that's because of the way that we have historically treated Black women, Black femmes, Black folks with uteruses in this country, that level of violence, it still exists. It's at the foundation of it. And so it's not just Black folks, it's everyone who's being impacted by this level of care or the lack of care that folks are receiving. And so while we know that a good Black birth is possible, we know in general that everyone is not getting the birth that they deserve because of how we treat Black bodies in this country.
Yeah. And, I mean, I know I spoke about our other allies in community, but it's just so much. I really want to be able to still call people in as we are having these discussions and making sure that they're tapping in with your organization and other partners. And there was something that you brought up as we were getting ready to start too. And it's like the urgency I see the urgency in the areas of women.
Yeah.
Why do Black men need to be a part of this conversation?
Yeah. When I think about this, I think about, I think about the Black men who are losing their partners, to maternal health, to the maternal mortality rates, and the fact that it's the whole family who experiences this and who's being impacted. I was recently sharing the story about when my daughter was born and how her dad, he was there the whole time. Like, I have to give him his kudos and shout outs for that. He was there for the 23 and a half hours it took, of labor to bring her into this world. And so you can imagine we are both extremely sleep deprived, have so much sleep exhaustion. And at the hospital, the way that the nursing staff treated him, like here he is, like trying to like hold our daughter, like while I'm trying to get a couple winks of sleep. And the way that they acted afraid of him, the way that they acted afraid to even let him hold his own daughter, that the way Black bodies, anywhere we go, any institution, any system, we know we're going to experience anti-Blackness. So for Black fathers, they're being robbed of the experience that they deserve as well, to be there for their partners, to be there for their children. And we know that it comes back to the racism. And so the whole family is being impacted, and Black fathers, their experience is being taken away from them as well.
Then that's powerful. And I think that we do need to tap in more. Well, part of the reason of this show is like this conversation is so intersectional. And sometimes I think that some of our Black men in community don't know that they have permission to be able to not only just be in the know of how they could be a part of this solution, and being educated is and called into the room is a big part of that.
Exactly. I think about Maisha Mitchell all the time. Shout out to Maisha Mitchell. She's the owner of My Time for Massage, and actually the person who came up with the idea for this year's Black Maternal Health Week and bringing the documentary The Ebony Canal here. And she always is telling folks that fathers can be doulas. Fathers need to be educated, that when she does her doula work, like they are in the room right there learning how to do this, learning how to be that support person for their partner and for the mothers. And so, I love how she always makes sure that it's the whole family, the whole Black family that's being talked about, and that we really make sure that Black men, Black fathers, that they see themselves in this too. Because again, the whole family is being impacted by what's happening to our mothers, to birthing people, and we're all being robbed of the experience that we should have as a family.
Absolutely. And you brought up something else. We have great conversations in between that really kind of had me look at this in a bigger lens. How does gun violence pertain to Black maternal health?
Yes, so I know you do so much advocacy on this work, Deaunte, and when we were sitting here talking about it, that I see gun violence as a reproductive justice issue, that the Black women who created this framework of reproductive justice, that they went beyond just the typical white feminist reproductive rights framework that just looks at rights, never looks at the holistic view of what's happening. And so reproductive justice is defined as the right to have a child, to not have a child, and if you do decide to have a child, to raise that child in a healthy and sustainable environment. And so when this issue of gun violence goes unfunded, unsolved, under-resourced, and not taken the urgency that it needs, that it impacts our children, it impacts our babies, that no one should have to give birth and to have to worry constantly every day that their child grows up that they could be a victim of gun violence, that that's not the healthy and sustainable environment that we're supposed to be dreaming of mothers and parents. And so it's absolutely a reproductive justice issue. And just like reproductive justice, it needs holistic solutions to address the complexity of the problem. And so when I think about movement building and community organizing, I think about how we're able to come together across issues, that if in reproductive justice, we can see why it's so critical to uplift the work around gun violence, and for folks who are in gun violence to uplift the work around reproductive justice, that it's all connected. It's all about the holistic well-being of our Black families, of our children, of our parents. And so that's why I always just have so much deep respect for the work that you do, Deaunte. I know I tell you this because you do so much, and you always see those connections, and you show up no matter what, and you don't silo the issues. And so I really hope that this event, Rooted in Care, honoring the Black maternal health experience this Saturday, is that opportunity for us to come together as a community, that whether it's gun violence, whether it's birth justice, reproductive justice, that if it impacts Black people, then it's our issue, that we come to see things like that. If it impacts Black trans folks, we see that as our issue. If it impacts Black unhoused folks, we see that as our issue. And so I love how you always do that and model that for us. And I'm hoping that this Saturday is going to be our opportunity for folks to do that for Black maternal health as well.
Absolutely. And we are excited about that. So we're actually going to be doing another call to action to get folks to tap in with Rooted in Care. We're going to take one break and we're going to wrap this up. You watching We Live in Color with Jackie.
This May, Seattle Opera presents Carmen. Iconic melodies make Carmen irresistible. Don't miss Carmen, May 2nd through 17th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Welcome back to We Live in Color. Jackie Vaughn. This weekend is, I'm getting so excited about this event. And I just want to be able to give community another call to action.
Yes.
So if you can do me a favor, tell folks about this event, let them know what they got to do, and tell them why.
Yeah. Okay. So first, again, I just want to say a huge shout out to Maisha Mitchell, because her idea of how we were going to take care of our community and really model what Rooted in Care looks like. You're going to see it all throughout this event. We have opportunities for mommy makeovers. Shout out to the Chaya movement. They are going to be bringing 150 curated pre-loved items, and there's going to be 3 stylists there to give mommy makeovers. All of this will be free. We're going to be doing a diaper and wipe giveaway as well. We'll be having self-care bags and also wellness bags for expecting parents. Also, we'll have food there. Shout out to Angel City Food and Deli for catering the event. And then so exciting, we will be doing the screening of The Ebony Canal, which is a NAACP Image Award winning film. We will have the director. He's an Emmy Award winning director. And this is really going to look at the history of birth justice in our community and how that's impacting us today. And again, just give the platform of urgency that we need. So you can go to search for reproductive justice on Instagram, find the Eventbrite link there. You can find us on Eventbrite also. We do ask people to register because we are actually getting pretty full to the max of what the Rainier Arts Center can hold. And so we want to make sure that everyone is able to attend this event. It's going to be from 3 to 7 with different activities. You can see the schedule on the Eventbrite, but it's going to be a good time. It's going to center our joy. It's going to center our stories as well. And we want to make sure that people feel cared for. The event is called Rooted in Care, honoring the Black maternal health experience. And that's exactly what we hope to do at this event.
Now, girl, now that was good. That was a mic drop. That was good. You could do this now. I might have to do like a Jackie check-in like every 2 months because no, but we here at Converge have been sharing it for the past couple of weeks, and not just like, oh well, this is an event. This is more than just an event. It's a priority.
Yes.
When we are saying Black media matters, it is also making sure that we are prioritizing and uplifting the ones who've came before us, and it could not be possible without our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers.
Yes.
And while we're on the subject, I know that we are both granny kids. As you've been doing this work, what message had your grandmother giving you throughout doing this work?
I think about how proud she is, and how she also has been able to have the experience with my daughter that she wasn't able to have as a parent or even a grandparent herself. That, again, when we think about what's been taken from us, that this has been her opportunity to go through a process and see what can be done when Black bodies are affirmed, when we are seen with our full humanity, and when we have access to that autonomy. And so when I think about her, I think about how proud she is. I think about all the events she always comes to and helps set up. So if you've ever been to a Surge event and you've seen little decorations on the table, just know my granny was the one who helped put those together. And so again, this is a family experience. This is for us as collective to organize around this. And I definitely just want to give Converge Media y'all's flowers too, because you are having an impact on us doing policy and systems change and being able to elevate our stories, elevate our priorities. And so I think that just really beautifully models collective action and how each of us has a role in it. Black Media Matters, you are putting on for our policies and the work that we're doing so that community can lead on solutions.
Right. And thank you so much, Jackie, for coming. Well, I'll be like, girl, I'll see you later, but I'm going to see you this Saturday.
Yes.
And we hope to see you all this Saturday. Rooted in Care, Rainier Arts Center, Surge Reproductive Justice. Make sure that you tap in. Seats are limited right now. There also is limited child care provided as well.
Yes.
So don't try to make no excuse. Bring the babies too. But I'm just so happy for Surge Reproductive Justice, for Jackie, for Maisha, and above all else, you as a viewer. And thank you for lifting up Black Media Matters. The Black Media Matters Studio, Converge, we also need you too. So if you have an opportunity, if you have $1, $20, or you know a friend or an ally that wants to be able to provide some reparations, please feel free to go to whereweconverge.com/donate to make sure that we can keep us thriving. There are more stories out there and we need to get to them. You can help us do it. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. And without further ado, walk with love. Have a great weekend. Hey everybody, Deaunte Damper. To learn more about our blog posts, community events, and more, go to whereweconverge.com.